All right, today we are very fortunate to have some great honorees, and the first I have the honor of introducing Sister Patricia Griffith, Executive Director of Mercy Haven. Sister Pat, as she is affectionately called, is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of her career of serving Long Islanders who are homeless, living with mental illness, or living in poverty. She began her career in 1973 at St. Patrick's Church in Bayshore, and in 1985, she and Sister Kathleen Nolan founded Mercy Haven, where Sister Pat continues to serve as Executive Director. For 47 years, she has been a member of the Sisters of Mercy of the Americas. She earned a bachelor's degree from Brentwood College, a master's degree in education from Fordham University, and a master's in social work from Adelphi University. Mercy Haven began when a small number of concerned citizens, led by Sister Pat, responded compassionately and aggressively to the need for clean, decent, and affordable housing for people living with mental illness. The agency has now expanded to include housing for the elderly, limited income families, disabled, and homeless individuals and families. Mercy Haven's mission is to acknowledge the dignity and potential of people who are homeless, living with mental illness, or living in poverty by providing housing, advocacy, education, and life skills development. Sister Pat, my good friend, your life's choice has changed the lives of so many. Sister, would you please come to the podium and accept our award?
My first reaction in hearing about a Lifetime Achievement Award, I was finding myself asking, how did they know I turned 65? Or, thank you for letting me know I can retire. Seriously, it's overwhelming to receive an award like this, especially when you think all you've done is what any person can and should do. And you are being acknowledged for something that you could never have done alone. I also receive this honor as an acknowledgement that you understand that the success of a society is measured by the care of its most vulnerable people. When I was thinking of how I could express my thanks, given now the length of my years, I thought I could start once upon a time. But then you might be here longer than you may wish to be, and certainly longer than you would want me to be. But I do have to start with a story that propels me to take responsibility for the folks that live with mental illness and live in poverty. I was probably around 22 when I was working in the Bayshore community, and hundreds of people were deinstitutionalized from the state hospitals. You'll remember that moment. There wasn't enough support in the communities. It just was a fiduciary state decision. I was the person they'd have to see when they needed something. Well, one day, Bruce appeared, a good-looking, educated, 25-year-old man who had attended our Catholic school, finished college, and had family still living in our community. He regularly asked for help. What I discovered in our exchange would sow seeds for the birth of Mercy Haven 10 years later. I realized that with just a twist of fate, I could be the one experiencing the illness and looking for more help, looking to belong. So it became clear to me that the words of the founders of the Sisters of Mercy, Catherine McCauley, were a simple and very clear mandate. The poor need your help today, not next week. And as a result, my love and preference for living my life with others who knew the importance of knocking down walls that rationalize our distinctions and justifications, for some having much more than they could ever use, while others desperately struggle, became my passion. In 1985, Sister Kathy Nolan and I, along with an interfaith group, began what would become Mercy Haven. While we started out to advocate for only one single-room occupancy hotel, the one that Bruce and 130 other people lived in, it took us 4 years to open our first community residence. We never did get that specific hotel, but we now operate more than 100 units of housing and are currently working on 7 more homes to be completed by year end. These units are specifically for persons who are homeless and living with mental illness, or families who are living in emergency shelters. To each of our residents, we provide 24/7 support services, free legal services on civil matters, education and employment training, and employment opportunities. We also have a community garden in Brentwood involving several of the local groups and schools. We give support and assistance to John's Place, which is a seasonal winter shelter, and facilitate an education program for the homeless. Besides the hundreds who are part of our Mercy Haven community, we have also affected the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, households, by being part of a winning team in some class action suits against the state of New York. A number of our board, staff, and residents are here and ready to answer any questions you might have about our programs or opportunities to help. What we do at Mercy Haven, and it is a we, can be measured by numbers, but the real mission is fulfilled in the changes in the individual lives of the people who grace us with their presence and living with us, and all of the staff, board, and volunteers. Tom Hartman has always been kind to me, inviting me over and over to tell our story as we began and grow to his audiences when he was able. He has a knack for bringing folks together to respond to a community need, doesn't he? You surely know that. So I am touched to receive an award in his name. I'm hoping that it might come with a skill of working this group that he had and finding some support that he was able to bridge. Some of you here have already been part of Mercy Haven, creating partnerships that are irreplaceable to us. I'm extending an invitation to everyone else who may not know us to come in to see and to see the difference you can make in the lives of our participants. In this room alone, 1 out of every 4 families are dealing with a spouse, a child, a parent, a sibling living with mental illness. We don't admit that really very easily. It's not one of the top 10 charities on Long Island or the top 10 hot needs that people want to respond to. But unlike any other illness, this one stays hidden, or at least shared with very few. Bruce's family didn't know what to do with him, and so he ended up in a substandard hotel a block down from where his family lived. As business people, you know how the economy is adding more people into the tenuous category of needing assistance. Even those who hold jobs feel themselves or their businesses slipping. As members of ACIT, your planning, your support of each other brings these realities to your business plans. Mercy Haven has a different meaning for your acronym that we strive to live. It's advocacy, community, inclusivity, and transformation. Our work is not complete until we no longer need to advocate for our friends with government, with treatment teams, and in neighborhoods to be included. I know firsthand the transformation, the change of heart that happens when we reach out and become part of one another's lives. Mercy Haven is not just doing a charitable thing, but working for justice for all. My prayer this morning was, wake us up to what needs doing and what needs undoing. Wake us up to what must be let go and what to draw closer. Wake us up to what enlarges love and what diminishes it. In all parts of our life, disturb us and wake us up. Remember, you have a standing invitation to come and see Mercy Haven and see who we are and what we do. We are also a good resource for your families and your neighbors and your businesses. I'd like to congratulate you for 50 years and for bringing the values of networking and support to each other and to our community. I'd like to congratulate the other persons being honored, and thank you again for this moment.